Hey, my fellow fitness enthusiasts, welcome into today's fitness challenge. My name is Tyler Marin, and today we're going to be doing what I consider to be one of the most crucial aspects of any good fitness program is the warm-up. Okay, so we're gonna go through a good dynamic stretch today. I'm gonna show you exactly how I warm up each and every time for a workout, why this is so crucial. No matter what fitness level you're at, whether you're somebody who just goes for long walks or whether you're an elite athlete, I recommend that you build this routine into your program. You do this 4 to 5, 6, 7 times a week because it's only gonna make you better. So let me introduce myself if you've not met me before. Like I said, my name is Tyler, and I am a 3-time Paralympic athlete in the sport of goalball. I've been a personal trainer for about a decade, graduated from Western Michigan University with my bachelor's degree in exercise science, and overall a fitness enthusiast. I spend a lot of time doing motivational speeches and helping fitness groups around the country, especially those that involve being visually impaired. The basis of all the programs that I do is very audio described. So some video added for extra help, but if you are totally visually impaired and you can't see this video, don't worry about it. I'm gonna walk you through this workout. I'm gonna describe every movement to make sure that we're all staying on the same page. So without further ado, let's talk about the workout for today, what it's all about, and we're gonna jump right into it. A dynamic warm-up is essential for getting your body prepared for any type of workout. Again, whether it's low key or it's gonna be an intense workout. The idea with dynamic movements is that you're gonna increase your core body temperature, you're going to elongate the muscles and work on balance and flexibility all in one shot. It's gonna give your muscles a chance to loosen up so that we're not tearing them during stretches or exercises. A dynamic movement is essentially where you're gonna step into a stretch, you're gonna hold it for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then you're gonna release the stretch and then repeat it several times. And that rinse repeat movement is gonna give the muscle time to warm up as we elongate it and prepare it for exercise. As your core temperature comes up, you're gonna have a lot less risk of injury, and overall flexibility improves your muscle function, it improves your ability to burn extra body fat. So many benefits from improving your balance and flexibility. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's routine, I'm gonna start off with 8 exercises. Okay, these are the core of the dynamic warm-up that I want all of you guys to build into your programs. And then from there, I'll show you a couple of bonus exercises that you can add into your routine. But for sure, these first 8 movements are 100% essential. So come on up on your feet. Let's go ahead and get ourselves started with our first stretch, a single leg anterior chain stretch. Okay, so I call this one the lunging arc. Also, if you're a yoga practitioner, this will look a little bit familiar. It's very similar to a crescent pose. So I'm gonna turn sideways so that those of you who are watching the video can see how this works. But starting off in your anatomic neutral position. So what that means is I've got my feet right underneath my hips. Okay, so I got a little bit of a base. My head is up high, my shoulders are pulled back slightly. Dropping my shoulders down, I've got my palms facing in towards my thighs. So the outside of my legs. A regular anatomic position would be turning my palms so they're facing forward. I'm just gonna relax my arms, my palms into a hammer grip, palms facing in towards the side of my legs. Stretch number 1, here's how we're gonna do it. Every one of these stretches, the first 6 movements that we do, the leg that you don't move, your plant leg, stays right in place. It doesn't step, doesn't lift off the ground, anything like that. And that leg is gonna stay straight. You're gonna keep that knee extended through the whole movement. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with my left leg glued to the floor. My left knee stays straight through this whole stretch. I'm gonna take a medium-sized step forward with my right leg. So little bit bigger than just a normal walking step, but not a huge lunge forward. It should be about a comfortable medium big step. My left leg is straight, my right knee is bent. So in these stretches, whatever foot you do move, that leg is gonna bend slightly. And so now I'm in kind of almost like a half lunge, a mini lunge position. And even right here with both feet flat on the floor, I can start to feel this stretch in my back leg and just a little bit in my left hip. Now that I'm in position, I'm gonna bring my head up. I'm gonna raise my arms up in front of me and then up overhead as high as I can. Palms are facing in towards each other. I'm gonna look up towards my hands, and then I'm even gonna lean back slightly. I'm gonna arch my back, squeeze the shoulder blades back in together, and try to draw my hands up over my head back behind me. Keeping your elbows straight and everything locked out nice and tight. So as you do this movement, again, I'm holding it a little extra time here so I can explain this to you guys. In this movement, we're stretching out your hip flexor for your left leg, your belly, your chest, shoulders, arms, a whole bunch of stuff in the front of the body. Then step back, come back to center. Let's go ahead and repeat that stretch on the other leg now. Plant your right foot on the floor, right knee is straight. Step forward with the left foot, medium-sized step, both feet flat on the floor. Your front leg, your left knee is bent. Right leg is the back leg now, it's straight. Reach up, arch your back, look up, and try to almost lean back slightly as you stretch that right hip flexor, the chest, the belly, and then come back to center, okay? That's stretch number one. So let's go ahead and repeat that a few times on each side, minimum of 5 times per leg for all of these stretches. So I'm gonna go through this sequence, step forward with my right foot, reach up, arch the back, both feet flat, come back to center. Go ahead and do these with me. Step forward, reach up, arch the back, looking up, back to center. Keep moving through these stretches. Now as you do these, this dynamic stretching pattern, again, what we're doing is we are allowing the muscles and the body temperature to increase without holding the stretch too long to begin with. A stretch where you hold 20 to 30 seconds is considered a static stretch, which is great for you to do, but typically you want to do that post-workout. You want to do it after you've already gotten warmed up and loosened up. This kind of dynamic stretching pattern, really, really important at the beginning. Good, I got about one more on each side. Step forward, stretch, arch the back, look up, and other side. Good, stretch number one. Number two, now we're gonna do the opposite movement. We're gonna stretch the posterior chain of the body. This is called a single leg posterior chain stretch. Step back, bow. Okay, so I'm standing in my anatomic position. Again, I'm gonna keep my left foot glued to the floor. It's not gonna move, left leg stays straight. I'm going to step back this time with my right foot. Okay, instead of forward, I'm gonna step back. Same rules apply. The leg that I didn't move, my left leg is staying straight, right leg is bent. Okay, as I kind of step back and sit down just a little bit on that right leg. And both feet stay flat on the floor. Reaching my arms out in front of me, I'm gonna sweep my hands down towards the floor as I bring my chest, my belly, my eyes down. And then as I reach towards the floor, I'm gonna swing my hands up behind me towards the wall as far as I can. So this position that I'm in here, again, my left leg is kind of out in front of me. My left leg is straight. I'm bowing over that left leg. I'm tucking my chin down towards my chest, pushing my chest and belly towards the left thigh, and I'm swinging my arms up behind me, stretching out my lower back, my shoulders, and the back of my leg, all that posterior chain. And then stand back up and come back up to your neutral position. Let's go the other side. Glue the right foot to the floor. Step back with the left. Right leg is straight, left leg is bent. Sweep the hands down towards the floor as you round out your back, tuck your chin down, and swing the arms up behind you. Good. Slow, controlled movements. Go ahead and come back up. So that's going to be stretch number two. Let's go ahead and do that stretch a few times on each side, so a minimum of 5. I'm going to step back with my right foot, sweep the hands down, tuck the chin under, and come back up. Step back, bow. Single leg posterior chain stretch. So when we talk about a chain of muscles, the muscles in the back side of your body, your posterior chain, they're going to connect and help you move. They synergize together. So it's important to stretch the entire chain. But when you do this, where you feel the stretch may depend on which muscle groups are tightest in that chain. So for example, for me, I feel this just a little bit more in the hamstring, in the back of the leg. Some of my clients would feel it a little bit more in their back or shoulders. And as you loosen up those muscles and they become a little bit more balanced, then you'll feel it more equally through the rest. So it doesn't matter where you feel it, just start with assuming that it's not painful, okay? Good, stretch number 2. Let's go number 3 now. Stretch number 3 is gonna be a lateral stretch. So I'm facing towards you guys, facing towards 12 o'clock. And what I wanna do for this one, I'm gonna put my arms straight up overhead, and my arms are going to remain about equal distance as my shoulders. So a common mistake for this next one is as I step into the movement, I kind of let my arms fall open, my hands fall apart. I want your arms straight up overhead and keep them there like you're holding onto a rope that doesn't stretch. My palms are facing towards you guys, and I am going to step into a side bend. So here's how we're gonna do it. We'll start off again with the right foot moving. Left foot's glued to the floor, left leg doesn't bend, left leg stays straight through the whole thing. Take your right leg, wrap it around the front of your left leg. Place your right foot flat on the floor on the outside edge of your left foot. So both of my feet are flat and the outside edges of my feet are about an inch or 2 apart, both feet flat. Right leg wraps around the left, arms are straight up overhead. And now simultaneously, I'm gonna push my hips a little bit out to the left as I lean my shoulders, arms, head, torso, everything to the right. So I'm bowing my body to the side, stretching out all the muscles down the side here, my lats, my external, internal obliques, my hip abductors, reaching out to the side. Big stretch. And then you come back up to center, okay? Now let's go to the other side. Same thing, just switching legs. So I'm gonna glue my right foot to the floor, right leg stays straight, reach the arms up overhead, cross the left leg over the right, kind of wrap that left leg around the front of the right. Both feet flat on the floor, outside edges of your feet close together. Push your hips out to your right and lean to the left. Big stretch, and then come back up. Let's go ahead and repeat this a few times on this side to get the lateral chain of the body, the outside of the body, stretched and warmed up. So I'm gonna cross my right foot over, lean to my right. Cross my left foot over, lean to my left. Now the other thing you wanna think about while doing these is try not to lean forward in these stretches. So if you were doing this stretch by placing your back against the wall, imagine that your buttocks, the back of your shoulders, your head, your arms, everything's touching the wall. As you step across and lean into this stretch, you're not leaving the wall. You're keeping yourself back. You're keeping yourself up super tall as you're doing this. Okay, so don't lean forward, just lean directly to the side. I've got my chest, my belly, my nose pointed straight at you guys, straight at 12 o'clock as I cross my leg over and then I lean into the stretch. It's good. Some of these might take you guys a little bit of practice too. You might cross the leg over and then you think, ooh, which way do I lean? Go ahead and go back through this video a number of times, practice these, master these. You should be doing these essentially every single day. They're gonna help loosen up your body in all planes of movement. Okay, stretch number 4. We've got a big side step and a lateral lean. So again, we just got done stretching the lateral chain. Now we're going medial. We're gonna stretch the inside of the leg. So standing in my anatomic position again, but with my arms up overhead, just like we did with number 3 with the crossfoot lean. We're gonna take a pretty good size step to the side. Okay, so it's a side lunge. You're not trying to put your foot way out there. You're not trying to super stretch lunge. You take about double hip width step, okay? Again, the foot that you don't move, that's the straight leg. So I'm gonna plant my left foot in the floor. My left leg stays straight. We've started with the left foot in the floor every time now. I'm gonna take a big step to my right. Okay, so my right knee is bent. I'm pushing my hips back just slightly. You don't wanna drive your knee forward. You want your feet flat on the floor. My weight's on my heels. My arms are up overhead, and now I'm gonna lean to my left as I lean towards that left straight leg. Just like the one we did previously, I'm not trying to lean forward and bring my chest towards the ground. I'm trying to keep myself pointed at you guys as I'm leaning directly to the left. And you should feel that stretch all down into your groin, and even up into your side, your ribs and shoulders. And then you come back up. I'm gonna go the other side. Right foot's glued to the floor. I'm gonna take a big step out to my left, and I'm gonna lean to my right, and then back up. Let's go ahead and repeat this a couple of times. So here's a little trick for you guys too, as we repeat this at least 5 times on each side, stretch out the inside of the groin. When I worked with a lot of my clients on this routine, here's what I would tell them with these side steps, because people would say, I keep forgetting which way I'm supposed to lean. I step left and then lean right, or step right, lean left. I don't remember which one it is. So think about it this way. You're always leaning away from the foot that you've moved. Okay, so in stretch number 3, I got one more here. I'm gonna do a quick review of that. Okay, in stretch number 3, my arms are up, okay? I'm crossing my right foot over my left. Okay, so my right foot was over here. Now I'm putting it over here on the left side of my body. I'm gonna lean away from that. So I'm gonna lean away from where I moved my foot. Okay, so I put my right foot over to my left. So I'm leaning away from the left, I'm leaning to my right, okay? Number 4, that big side step, okay? I put my leg over here, I moved it that way. I'm gonna lean away from where I put my foot that I moved. That'll help you get the right stretch. And if you guys mix them up, don't really worry about it. I mean, it's not gonna hurt you. You just get a little better stretch when you're leaning the correct way, okay? Number 5, we're doing good. I'm feeling warmer already. I like this stretch. Let's go to our internal external rotation. Okay, so your body moves in 3 planes: frontal, sagittal, and rotational. We've stretched the sagittal plane with 1 and 2, stepping forward and stepping back. We've stretched in the frontal plane, which is leaning side to side. Now we're gonna do a rotation, okay? Same thing, we're gonna start off by burying that left foot in the floor. Don't let that left leg move, okay? Left knee stays straight. I'm up tall, my arms are straight out in front of me, pointed towards you guys. So my hands are at shoulder level, my palms facing towards the ground, and my arms are out in front of me like a Frankenstein walk. Okay, head is up high. Now, everything I have right now is pointed towards 12 o'clock. My hands, my chest, my belly, my eyes, my toes, everything's pointed straight at you guys. To do number 5, the external rotation stretch, here's how we're gonna get into it. You're gonna take your right foot and you're gonna turn towards your left, towards 9 o'clock, across the front of your left foot. So I'm in position now. My left foot didn't move. My left foot stayed on the floor. My left knee is straight. My left foot is still pointed at you guys. But I've turned my whole body. Now my hands, my eyes, my chest, my belly, my right toe, all pointed to my left towards 9 o'clock. And what this does, make sure you guys keep those knees straight, especially the left one. This pivots in your hip and stretches out the external rotators of your hip. Your hip is a ball and socket joint, so it moves in all 3 planes and it spins. A lot of times when people have back problems and things like that, it's because their hip can't rotate the way it's supposed to. Some of you might be really tight with this one. And also, if you are able to check out the position of your feet are essentially making like a capital T shape. So if that helps you get the right position. Head is up super high, big rotation. Come back to center, let's go to the other side. My right foot's glued to the floor, arms are straight out ahead of me, okay? Everything's pointed towards 12 o'clock. Now I'm gonna turn clockwise, I'm gonna turn to my right. I'm gonna keep my right foot glued to the floor, but I'm turning to my right, my head is up. Now my hands, my eyes, my chest, my belly, my left leg, my left toe is all pointed towards 3 o'clock to my right. The only thing that stayed in place was my right foot and leg as I point it towards you guys. This is gonna internally rotate my foot, which stretches out the external rotators. I know that gets a little confusing, doesn't it? Let's come back to center and let's rotate a few times, guys. So we're gonna pivot to our left, keeping that left foot glued to the floor, back to center. Now keep the right foot glued to the floor as you pivot to your right, okay? Back to the other side. Let's go back and forth 5 times on each side. Now, if I'm watching you from the ceiling, again, something to note is that I don't want to see your head moving from side to side a lot. So as I turn to my left, I'm not trying to reach out towards the wall towards my left. I'm trying to stay up very, very tall, and I'm just pivoting in one spot. Just pivoting on that hip and stretching out those external rotators. Side to side is not what we're going for. It's rotate clockwise, rotate counterclockwise. Okay? It's good, guys. Got a couple of those in. Now we're gonna do the opposite movement of that. So what you guys should be noticing by now is everything's kind of paired together. The first one, we had a step forward, reach up, arch your back. Then it's step back, sweep down. It's kind of the opposite movement. Then we had a short cross lean, and then a big step out to the side, lean in. It's an opposite movement. Here now we're doing the rotation. We rotate across the front of the foot. Now we're gonna do an open rotation. So here's how we're gonna do this. I am setting up exactly like I did for the last stretch we just did. I've got my arms out in front of me, palms towards the floor, head is up high, everything pointed towards you guys, towards 12 o'clock, my toes, my eyes, knees, legs, hips, shoulders, everything. Now I'm gonna keep my left foot glued to the floor, and what I'm gonna do now is instead of turning to my left and pulling my foot across, I'm gonna turn the other way. My left foot stays glued to the floor. I'm gonna take my right leg and kind of step it back behind me and point my toe out to the right. And then I'm gonna turn clockwise as far as I can to my right. Almost, for me, I'm pretty flexible this way. Most people are a little more flexible this direction. So I'm turning towards 3 o'clock, and I can actually go even farther. I'm turning kind of towards 4, even 5 o'clock, almost looking behind me as I do this stretch. So where am I now as I step into the stretch? My left foot is still glued to the floor. My left foot is still pointed towards you guys, and my left knee is very, very straight. But I've turned my body now, my belly, my chest, my arms, everything pointed towards, let's say about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. My right toe is pointed the same way that I'm looking now because I moved that foot, okay? And as you do this stretch, you're gonna feel this up on the inside of the thigh, your left thigh, as you rotate externally to stretch the internal rotators in the hip. Let's come back to center. Let's do this one again. This one is maybe the most tricky for most people to understand. So let's go through it real slow again. I'm gonna plant my right foot in the floor, glue my right foot down. My right knee doesn't bend, okay? Head is up high. I'm in my neutral position, everything pointed towards you guys. Now I'm gonna turn to my left. I'm gonna take my left foot, step it kind of back behind me, turn my toe open, and I'm gonna turn counterclockwise. So I'm pointing my body towards 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna go even a little farther towards 8 or 7 o'clock, turning as far as I can, feeling that stretch in my right hip, right thigh. And then come back to center. Let's go ahead and repeat that a few times. So I'm gonna glue my left foot to the floor, step my right foot back and turn to my right. Then come back to center. Keep my right foot on the floor, step my left foot back and turn all the way to my left. And then come back to center. I'm gonna show you guys the rest of these exercises. And like I said, at the end, go ahead and repeat this a few times, 5 times minimum on each side. I'm gonna show you just a couple bonus exercises. And then real quick, I'm gonna show you a sequence that you can do. If you get comfortable with these, you can start splicing some of these movements together, and that'll create a really good dynamic warm-up where you'll actually get your heart rate up quite a bit doing this as well. But for now, you can just stick with these basic movements. Do them individually, get the body stretched out. Good, let's go one more. We're almost there. And perfect. We've just got 2 more stretches. And for the next 2, we're gonna lay down on the floor on your back. So this first stretch is called the iron cross. And this is going to stretch out your lower back, your posterior chain. It's a really good stretch, guys. I think you're really gonna like this one. I know it's one of my favorites. So I'm laying on my back, arms are straight out to my side like I'm a capital T, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Now here's the trick with this one. Your arms and your shoulders stay flat on the floor, but the rest of your body is gonna roll up to the side. So here's how we're gonna do it. We'll keep that left foot on the floor again. So we're always starting with the right leg. It doesn't matter in the end what you start with, but just for the sake of direction, I'm gonna start with my right. Keep your knees straight. I'm gonna lift my right leg up as high as I can. And now what I'm gonna do is rotate. I'm gonna bring my right leg towards my left side. I'm gonna try to drop my right foot down towards my left leg. And so here's what's happening. I've got my arms, my shoulders still pressed flat onto the floor. I'm still looking up at the ceiling, but I've rolled my hips up. So now the outside of my left foot, my left leg and hip are on the ground. The outside of my right foot, leg, and hip are pointed up towards the ceiling. And I'm trying to put my right foot as close to my left hand as I can. This is gonna be a big extension and rotation stretch in the lower back. You're gonna feel this in the hips, the legs, the back, the shoulders. Now bring that leg back up and put it down. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So now I'm gonna raise the left leg up as high as I can. I'm gonna rotate across, try to push my left foot as close to my right hand as I can, and keep my shoulders and arms flat on the floor. Now for some of you, you're not even gonna get close to your hand. You're gonna bring your leg up, maybe a foot or two off the ground. You're gonna be able to reach across. You won't be able to bring your foot towards the floor at all because you're super tight. Don't worry about it. Doing the best you can with this is all that matters, working on that flexibility. Others, you're gonna be able to get your foot up nice and high, push your foot right over to your hand. Once I get warmed up a little bit, I'm not crazy flexible, but I'm enough. I can put my foot right up to my hand. So let's go back and forth a few times with this one. Right leg up and reach across towards your left hand, and then come back up and put it down. Again, we're going with a dynamic pattern, so I don't want you to hold these stretches super long. I want you to just drive the leg up, roll the hips as you reach across towards your opposite hand, and then bring the leg back up and put it down, okay? You can go ahead and hold the stretch just a little longer if you want to, but I like to just kind of glide in and out of these stretches. You're not trying to move fast. You're not trying to go in a jerking movement. You're trying to just be very slow, steady, deliberate with these exercises. A warm-up is all about maintenance for your body, taking care of your body. That's what fitness really should be about. You know, when you get into those extreme athletic levels, the activity that you do can be a little harder on the body, but generally speaking, fitness should be all about maintaining and taking care of the body, and this is a great way to do it. Okay, I got about 5 on each side. Last one, guys. I'm gonna flip over to my belly and do the opposite stretch now. Here's our scorpion stretch, okay? It's essentially the same thing, just opposite direction. I'm on my belly, I've got my arms straight out to the side like a capital T. My palms are on the floor. And this time, instead of keeping my knees straight, I'm gonna keep my left leg on the ground again, and starting with the right. I'm gonna bend my right knee this time. I'm gonna drive my heel up towards the ceiling as high as I can, and keeping my chest and arms on the ground, I'm gonna roll across and try to drive my right heel towards my left hand, and then come back down, back to my starting position. Bend the left leg, drive your left heel up, roll over, keeping your chest and arms on the floor, and try to drive your right heel, keep mixing it up, left heel to your right hand. I know which my left and my right is, I promise. Go back and forth a few times, back to neutral, bend the knee, kick the leg up and over. Now a couple things with this. You want your eyes, your nose pointed towards the floor. I'm not trying to look up at the wall in front of me because that puts a lot of big arch in my neck, and I don't want to do that. I want to try to stay neutral with this. So you want to look towards the floor, but you want to retract your head. So pushing the back of your head towards the ceiling as high as you can. So we're activating the muscles in the neck and shoulders, keeping the head elevated, but in a neutral position as you're pointing your nose down. Go back and forth a couple more times. Big stretch. Anybody with hip or back or knee problems with this, these stretches should actually help loosen you up quite a bit. Now, again, disclaimer, you know your own body. As you're doing these movements, this should never be ow, 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 painful. This should be, okay, I feel a tug in the muscles. I feel like it's a little uncomfortable as I'm pulling these tight muscles open, but it should never be painful. And when you're done, you should be able to get up and say, wow, I feel a lot better. That was a good warm-up. So making sure that you're listening to your body. All right, I'm back up on my feet. Those are the 8 exercises. Stick with me for just a moment. I'm gonna show you just a couple of bonus movements that you can do to get your body warmed up. First, as you learn those 8 exercises, you can start to partner them together as well. So if you are a little bit more fit, you're used to doing these types of movements, you can try something like this where I'm gonna take those first 2 exercises. I'm gonna glue my left foot to the floor, left leg stay straight. I'm gonna go stretch number 1, step forward, reach up, arch my back, and then go straight into stretch number 2 by then stepping back with that right foot and sweeping my hands down. So I just did stretch 1 and 2 kind of partnered together, okay? Step forward, reach up, arch the back. My left foot hasn't moved this whole time. Step my right foot back and sweep down. I'm just kind of oscillating back and forth between stretch 1 and 2. Same thing for 3 and 4. Okay, if I glue my left foot to the floor, arms are up overhead, I can cross my right foot over, lean to my right, and then from there I can take a big step out to my right and lean to my left and kind of go back and forth between the 2. You can do that if that makes sense to you to partner them together. If that just makes you more confused, then stick with them individually. Both are really beneficial for your body. Now, a couple other warm-up movements that you can do. These are maybe just a little bit more advanced, but you're welcome to give each one of them a shot. I like a high plank step out or a Spider-Man step, depending on what you want to call it. I'm in a push-up position. So I'm on my hands and my toes, my knees are straight, my belly is squeezed in, my nose is pointing towards the floor, but I'm lifting my head up, retracting my head up. My hands are in a position right underneath my chest. So when people get into the push-up position, a lot of times the biggest mistake they make is they put their hands up here by their face. I want you to bring your hands more underneath your chest and just on the outside edge of your ribs. Also, your hips, we're not trying to put your buttocks way up in the air, and we're not trying to drop your hips down towards the floor. Lift your hips up so they're the same level as your shoulder. Now, Spider-Man step outs, I'm gonna take my right foot, I'm gonna step it up to my right hand as close as I can. So my left toe is still on the floor, my right foot is flat on the floor on the outside of my right hand, and I'm gonna hold this stretch for just a second. I can even kind of lower down and stretch that right hip and glute, and then put that foot back. Now left foot comes up, I kind of stretch out, lower myself down onto that leg, and then come back. This is a cool exercise because not only are you warming up by stretching out the hips and hamstrings, but you're also warming up your shoulders, your core, by holding yourself up in this position, okay? So that's a great one to add into your warm-up routine. I'm gonna give you one more, a single leg RDL. This one is kind of a neat balance, challenging exercise. This definitely is a little bit more advanced. So again, if you struggle with balance movements, be very cautious with this one. Here's how this is going to work though. We're going to set up one leg, okay? So I'm up in my anatomic position, but I'm gonna shift my weight to my right leg. I'll start off on the right here. My left foot, I'm gonna pull it up so it's just an inch off the ground. My left foot's just kind of hovering over the ground. And I'm going to lean forward as I bring my left foot up behind me. I'm gonna push my belly towards my right thigh. As I lean forward, my chest and belly come towards the floor. And then I bring I'm losing my balance a little here. Not quite warm yet. As I bring my left leg up, I bring my chest and belly down, and I'm in kind of a lateral or a parallel to the floor position. My arms are hanging down in front of me. I'm looking towards the floor, and then I slowly come back up and bring my left leg back down into position. So this is a little bit more advanced. This is gonna warm up, again, all the muscles here in the hips and the legs, but it's also gonna start to warm up your central nervous system a little bit more. It's gonna help working on the communication of all those nerves and those muscle groups, getting everything warmed up. Now, just real quick with this one though, the key here is not so much that you're reaching for the floor. The key with this one is that you're trying to bring your back leg up as high as you can and push your belly towards your thigh. So as you do that, that'll keep the spine in a neutral position, and that'll help you stay in the right alignment. So that is a dynamic warm-up. put it in your program, okay? Don't allow yourself to just keep doing the same routines. This particular exercise program, this routine is gonna help you develop good flexibility. It's gonna help you develop balance. It's gonna prepare you for your workout, whether you're just going for a walk or whether you're hitting the gym and lifting heavy weights. Make sure you guys mix this one in and comment on the video. Let me know if you have any questions about the routine, any questions about the movements. If my descriptions were a little bit, you kind of got it, but it was a little bit challenging, be sure to let me know in the comments and I will definitely answer those questions and help you guys out. If you're not part of my own personal Facebook group, Revision Training, go ahead and take a look at that. I'll post in the description of this video or in the comments, I'll share the link for that, where you can also get some other resources to utilize for your fitness journey as well. So looking forward to seeing you guys down the road. And with Revision Training, we always say, let's change the way we look at it. Make it a strong day, guys.